Hey, good people. How's everybody doing today? Today is October the 14th, 2021. It's another day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. My name is Simone, the student teacher. I have educators and leaders tell their stories unapologetically through written and verbal communication. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I'm a book coach, and I'm a coach and morale specialist. I go back into schools and organizations to assess their culture and help build the morale. And so thank you guys for tuning in. This is I consider an evergreen live. I'm not really live at this moment, but I am live right now at 2:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on October 14th. But when you see it, I'm sure it's going to be an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 hours later when you actually see this. And so welcome to all of you beautiful people. I may even come on and catch it live when y'all are watching it live as well. But just know that I'm not actually live. So although it says live, I recorded it and now I've uploaded it. So you get it now while you get it. If you catching a replay and you didn't watch it when it first premiere as live, welcome to you too. Type in the comments where you from, where you tuning in from, what made you want to hop on this live today. Share this and invite your friends. Some of you hop on but you never share. Some of you hop on, you never invite people. So today I'm asking you to share and invite this. Okay, click the little button down there, hit share to your group, share to your pages, share to your own pages. Tag some people in here so they can come in and get some of this goodness. Okay, share and invite today. If you want to connect with me on all social media platforms, you can connect with me. I'm Simone Walden on all the platforms. You see it right there. Clubhouse, I'm Simone. TikTok, I'm Simone29. I've not been on TikTok in a very, very long time, but you can connect with me there. Facebook is the predominant place that I hang out. Facebook is the predominant place. Follow me at the student teacher on Facebook. This is where I mostly do all my videos. I've been doing a lot of walking, sharing within my health journey. And so I come on in the morning times and the evening when I'm walking, and I share some nuggets, some wisdom, and then I keep going with my day. And so I shared something earlier today about what happens when you're in the light. Psalms 119, 105, the word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And so I was sharing with them a revelation I got today when I found a new path, but you have to go back to the student teacher page to watch that. Okay. And so this is about making decisions, sticking to your decision, and then avoiding what we call group thinking. Stick to the decisions, make decisions that you can carry out, and avoid group thinking. People won't A lot of times people go along with the group so they don't seem like they're the one that's bucking against the system, or people gonna, say whatever or do whatever. But you can make your own decision because only you got to live those decisions out. So we have to avoid group thinking. So I'm gonna talk about the benefits of making decisions for yourself, how to make decisions, and then how to stick to them. Okay. And so before I do that, I want to recap some things that I've shared earlier. I used to come on at 10:10 at night. I haven't been coming on lately, late nights, but that's usually my bread and butter, right? Late nights. But John 10:10 says this: the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But I have come, says the Lord, to give you life and life more abundantly. The thief does not come except only 3 things. When a thief comes, there's 3 reasons he comes: to steal, to kill, and destroy. He ain't coming to make friends. He ain't coming to make nice. He's coming to kill, steal, or destroy. But God says, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And so I pray today that as I share these words of wisdom and the things that I've studied and learned over time, that it will bring life to you. It will bring a resolve to you. It will help you get from where you need to be, where you are, to where you need to be. For those of you who have never purchased any Pretty Heel or Hansley Hole attire, you can definitely go to prettyheel.com to get all of the merch that's there, all the apparel. I haven't really did a big push of it this year, but I'm starting back. So what does Pretty Heel mean? Pretty, powerful, resilient, educated and edified, thankful, transformed, yielded. Are you a pretty heel woman? Right? That's what it says at the bottom. A woman who is powerful. All power belongs to God. Power that we get from God. Are you a resilient woman? Can you bounce back from such circumstances? I'm not just talking about bouncing back but you ain't well. Bouncing back and you just showing up. But I'm talking about bouncing back and you're back. You're well. Educated and edified. Education is not necessarily formal training. Your life experience for some of you is enough training that you need, right? Being edified, building yourself up, encouraging yourself. I know a man named David that says sometimes you just got to encourage yourself. So sometimes you're going to have to encourage yourself, and sometimes you'll be around people who are encouraging you. And I would say get into circles, get into environments where people do encourage and edify you. You don't want to be around people that's always tearing you down and pointing out your flaws and your faults, because guess what? We know them, right? There's something called introspective versus extrospection. Introspection means I know all my hangups, I know all my stuff, and people get into this comparison because then they have this extrospective look. I'm looking at what these people doing that look good on the outside for them, and I know all my issues, so now I'm feeling some kind of way. No. Edify and build yourself up. Always be thankful. There's an old saying I've heard: if I just think about the goodness of God, and then people want to shout hallelujah. If I just think about the goodness of God, you become grateful. You think, where I come from. Like some of you don't know, share where you come from. I shared with you guys on Monday, it was National Coming Out Day for the world, right? You can share your coming out story. What have God brought you out of, right? And then yield it. Yield it means to slow down. Sometimes we got to slow down and see what God is saying and what God wants us to do and the direction that he's sending us in, right? So that's what pretty means. And of course, heal, it is based on Psalms 20 and 6. Yeah, 20 and 6 or 20 and 8. I forget. Or 20 and 5. I forget. But it says, I cried out to the Lord and he healed me. This is the whole premise of Pretty Heal. I'm not offering you no healing outside of God, but there are practical things you can do: a therapist, counseling, mentor, coaching, reading, becoming educated on something. The Bible says, don't be what people perish for the lack of knowledge, right? So we're not offering you something outside of God, but he will direct us to the things that we need to make sure you get exactly what you need. So that's what Pretty Heal stands for. And then, of course, handsomely whole. We don't want to be pretty, amazing, beautiful women put together, but we got beat down men, right? Or men who not whole. And the same thing for men. We don't want a handsomely whole man with a ratchet woman. That don't go together. So we want to be pretty healed and handsomely whole. Okay. So if you have not got any of the merchandise, make sure you head over to prettyheal.com. Pretty Heal. Let's put it down here. www.prettyheal.com. You'll see all of the colors, the shirts, the hoodies that you can get, and go ahead on and cop you one. Also, if you want to be on my text message service, I haven't texted those women in a while, and they can tell you I'm not one to blow you up all the time, but when I feel like I have something to share to that particular group, I will. So you can text 202-410-4202 to be added to the list, to my email list. You text overcome, the word overcome, to that number right there. So something that you may or may not know, but I want to be the first to let you know your flaws. The things that you think are wrong about you, the things that you don't like, the things you hope people don't see, the things that somebody might even point it out to you. Your flaws. You just listening. Your flaws look flawless to other people. Type that in, my flaws look flawless to other people. My flaws look flawless to other people. Type that in, my flaws look flawless to other people. I want you to believe the good in people, but I want you to believe the best in you. Sometimes we believe the best in other people more than we believe the best in us. But I want you to believe today. Believe the good in people. Don't always be suspect and like, Believe the good in people, but believe the best in you. Believe the best in you. Understand you can be concerned for people in their situation, but you're not responsible. Some people are taking too much responsibility for things that other people have done with their grown selves, with their disobedient selves, with their rebellious selves. Listen, Understand you can be concerned for people in their situation, but you don't always have to be responsible. Where we are today is based on the decisions that we made in the past. Where we are right now are based on the decisions that we have made up into this point. We can be concerned for people, but we are not responsible. Of course, when it comes to children or something like that, you say you don't want the child to suffer, you don't want the child to be without. You're absolutely right. We can step in when we can. But some of you are taking on the burdens of other people that you should not take on. Okay? So understand you can be concerned for people in their situation, but you are not responsible for it. And don't say yes. Don't be so quick to say yes until you know the cost associated with something. Sometimes people make these decisions that are real quick, and then later on they got to take it back. No, 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 no. Count the cost first. Even with salvation, may people count the cost of salvation before they be so quick to say yes, right? When you ask questions, wait for the answer. Sometimes we ask questions. Oh, somebody found a nice looking person. Are you married? Oh, girl, you crazy, right? That ain't an answer. That's not an answer. Wait for the answer, right? We make decisions based off of half truths, not enough information, but ask questions and wait for the answer. And then when you do that, you're gonna have to reflect often to accept and adjust it as needed. Sometimes you're gonna say, okay, I accept the fact that you're taking. I use as an example. I accept the fact that you're taking. So I'm going to adjust this relationship, meaning it will not be one, right? I'm going to adjust. I'm going to accept the fact that you're taking, and then I'm going to adjust the fact that there is no relationship with us, right? So that's just the precursor to what I'm going to talk about today, right? So text 202-410-4202 to get on my VIP list, and then you can go to prettyheal.com so you can cop some Pretty Heal Enhancedly Whole merchandise. So again, comment in the box where you from, where you tuning in from. This is going to be on Instagram. Hey, Instagram. This is YouTube. What's up, YouTube? This is Facebook. Both my pages. Hello. And then, of course, you got Twitter. And you got LinkedIn. So hello to all you beautiful people, right? So here we are going to get into about decisions. That was just like the precursor, but here is the sure enough teaching now. Okay. Something I want to, nope, I won't get there right now. So commercial break real quick. The Heart of a Leader anthology is set to make its debut next week for the Amazon best-selling campaign. So we need you guys to come out and support. If you have not read or seen the virtual book launch that we did, it was a very great conversation. Janelle was on, Beverly was on, Miss Constance was on, Mavis was on, Janice was in the background. We've seen her for a bit. She had a little sweet baby. They were on, right? So please go back and watch it and share. But The Heart of a Leader, the Amazon best-selling campaign will be next week. The book will be like $1.99 or 99 cents that day. So we're looking for your support. I'm looking for your support. So we can become Amazon best-selling authors. But I always share now, our goal is not to become a best-selling author. The goal is to be on God's best-selling list. Was he pleased with what we wrote? Was he pleased in what we shared? Okay, so it's not about the accolades per se. We thank God for those, but we want to make sure we were pleasing to God first. And then I have an 8-week mentorship masterclass called Unmuted and Unmasked. Unmuted and Unmasked, Dethroning Lies and Resetting Legacy. What are some of the lies that you have believed that are not true, and it's kind of deterring you from living out the legacy that God has for you? We already started with week 1 last week. It's Journey of Me. We went through the journey of us individually, and then this week we talking about sign the DNR. What are some things you absolutely need to stop in order to get the results that you absolutely need to start? And this is where it comes with making decisions. If you know, hey, I want to be a part of that, please email me at at SeminateWalden.com is scrolling down the middle. Seminate at SeminateWalden.com is scrolling down the middle. You may want to take a screenshot of the email. There is an investment to this, and the investment goes up next week. So if you're not registered by next Monday, it's going to go up. So while you can still join as we're ongoing, you will get the recordings that have already been sent out. But you have until next week to get it for the investment price that it is. You know, sometimes people will ask you for things, but then you present it to them, they may not be ready, or they may feel like it's not worth it. And what happens is you don't get upset with the rejection of that. You just focus on the people who you actually called to. Okay. So making a decision and avoiding group thinking. This is where we currently are. Okay. Make a decision and avoid group thinking. Now, first of all, I would like to give you the definition of a word, right? I tell you, I keep the Bible in one hand and thesaurus in another hand. Now, why the definition is not a thesaurus? I got this. I don't know if I got the synonyms for that today, but nonetheless, a decision. A decision is a determination arrived at after consideration. You have considered some things, and now this is your determination. It could be a report. It could be a conclusion. It could be a win. So a decision is when you are determining something after you have considered something. Okay. I'm considering joining. I'm considering being a part. I'm considering even listening to this live. I make decisions all the time. Right. So that's what a decision is. And now I'm not sure if you knew the Latin root of the word decision means to cut off from all alternatives. When you make a decision, that means you have decided I'm not going to follow or think about the other alternatives, but I'm going to focus on the one that I made. And a lot of times people go back and forth on the decisions. They go back and forth on decisions. They go back and forth on what they thought. They looking for other people to kind of validate them. But whatever decision you make sure, one, it goes through your value system. Make sure whatever decision you make, it goes through your value system. And if you haven't determined what your values are, if you haven't determined what is, how is this going to impact my life overall, does it align with who I am or who I'm becoming, then it's probably a decision that you don't want to make. So you got to make sure that your value, you run your decisions through your value system. And that's why you need to have 2 or 3 major values, so you don't spend 65 hours trying to make a decision because you don't even know how it aligns with your values, or you got so many that it takes too long, right? You can actually improve your decision-making skills. So for some people, like, well, it takes me a while, and I was definitely here, right? You can improve your decision-making skills. Sometimes we throw it off on other people or take us way, way too long, but you can improve them. And these are there's 8 ways you can improve your decision-making, okay? The first one is define the objective. What is the problem that you need to solve, and who can help you solve it? In terms of unmuting and unmasking, okay? I need to share my story. I want to be able to be comfortable and share my story. And it doesn't necessarily mean on a large platform, but I want to be able to own and talk about the things. I want to be able to share the things that is happening. I want to make sure that nothing inside of me is keeping me from going to where I need to go, right? So what problem do you need to solve? Okay. Maybe I have a story to tell. I don't know how to really get it out, right? Or I don't know who to use to get it out. But once you know what your problem is, then you start seeking out who can help me solve the problem. If you did not catch the Speak Life that I did last Sunday, it was with Miss Michelle Simmons. And I didn't quite understand why she reached out to me really until we were doing the live the other day. And she said something. She said, Simone, I wanted you to tell my story. I want to be able to share this story from a Christ-like perspective. I believe a lot of people work with me. A lot of people want to work with me because they know I'm going to give it from a Christ-like perspective, right? So you got to figure out who can help you solve your way, and if it's aligned with your values. People who don't first consider Christ, they're not people who gonna want to work with me, right? But people who consider him and what they're doing to get another opinion, it's like, okay, she can help me solve this problem that I have. So this is how you can improve your decision making skills. Define the objective. What's the problem you need help on right now? Who can help you solve it? And then number 2, right? Gather the relevant data and analyze it. So in terms of this program that we're doing, this 8-week mentorship masterclass, right? Get the information. If you want the information, when you email me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you back an outline of what the class entails, the investment that it is, the payment options that you have, and what we're going to discuss in a outline format every single week. You get the relevant information and you look at it. Analyze simply means to break it down. Can I even meet on Monday nights from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Am I going to commit to coming on during those times, right? While there is replays, absolutely. I think you can get the most by actually being live, right? Especially because it's a live class. There'll come a day where it will not be live, and so you won't have me to ask questions or talk to. So I believe that you have to gather relevant data and analyze, and then talk to other people about it. If you marry, you may have to consider your spouse. Hey man, hey babes, I really want to take whatever, this is an investment. What do you think? Whatever. Or you may have a friend, or you may have a mentor, you may have a therapist or something that say, hey, I think this might be a good choice for me. What do you think about that? Now, I will say, don't get caught up in what other people think and what other people say, so much to the fact that if their goals and ideas and objectives ain't aligned with what you, sometimes they don't understand why you would invest, or why would you take, or why would you go, and why would you do, right? So while we ask others, make sure you're looking at the information, the data, and then analyzing it for yourself. This is how another way you can improve your decision making skills. Number 3, identify alternatives and balance them against your guiding values. Okay, you say, well, I can't really be a part of this program, and maybe there's another program out there. You have to identify your alternatives and balance them against your guiding values. Okay, is this person gonna give it to you based on your values, or based on what you believe, or is it going to be beneficial for me, to take it? So make sure that you identify the alternatives and then balance them against your guiding values. Is this a person that I want to actually learn from it? This is a person I actually want to listen to, right? You have to factor all those things in. And then we have 4 through 8 right here. How can you improve your decision-making skills? Here's the last 4 right here. Consider the worst case scenario of your preferred decision. What's the worst thing that can happen? For some of you, the worst thing that can happen is you still stay stuck. The worst thing that can happen is you still hold on to guilt, shame, and pain. What's the worst thing that can happen? That you're still not telling your story to help somebody else get free. The worst thing that can happen is that you will still be in the same place that you were in last year. Keep talking about it's going to be a happy new year. That's the worst thing that can really happen. Make the decision, okay? Once you make the decision, then you got to implement and execute, okay? Particularly for this program, if you're going to be in it, you need to implement and execute. You got to do the work to get the results. And the truth of the matter is, some people don't want to do the work. They just want the results. Some people want your lifestyle, but they don't want the life that it takes to live it. And then evaluate and get feedback as you're making decisions. Evaluate them. Evaluate means to judge, right? Evaluate your decision and then get feedback. And then as you get feedback again, you make all the necessary adjustments. And the first person we should be getting feedback is God. God, was you pleased at this? God, is this how you wanted to do it? God, is this what you're talking about? God, like, he should be the first person giving you feedback. Okay? So you can actually improve your decision-making skills. Now, when is it not a good time to make a decision? When is it not a good time to make a decision? You probably heard this before. People say don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry, right? Because you start picking up all kinds of stuff, right? That is probably true. I've been guilty of that. But now that I have more discipline and self-control, it doesn't really matter. If I'm going to the store and I know it's something that I want to eat, right? I know, okay, well, I need to wait until I get home to cook, or I'm going to get it right now and I'm going to eat it, as soon as I get home, instead of just buying stuff that, is not going to be healthy for you at the moment, right? So what not to do when you should never make a decision. The first one is hungry. When you're hungry, don't make a decision when you're hungry. Don't make a decision when you're angry. Don't make a decision when you're lonely. Don't make a decision when you're tired. If you any of those things, you just simply let people know, I can't make a decision today because I am blank, 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 blank. Okay? That's it. Honey, I really would like to give you an answer right now, but I cannot give you an answer because I am so tired. I'm so tired that I don't think I will make the best decision right now. So let me get rested and then I can make the best decision, right? So don't make a decision. Remember, halt. hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. Now, again, we were talking about avoiding group thinking. Avoid group thinking. Generally, groups make better decisions than others, than individuals. But most time people just go along to get along. They don't want to seem like they, pushing back or being disobedient, right? But there is definitely a point to your opinion, so share. So avoid group thinking, because everybody's thinking the same doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. And I think a lot of times people have an understanding, an opinion. This is something I read earlier. An opinion voiced loudly or passionately, it is not inherently more sound or more agreed upon from somebody who is calm and for somebody who is quiet. Just because you're yelling and strong and you have the biggest mic or the biggest platform doesn't mean everything that you're saying is correct, right? So generally, groups make better decisions, but avoid that group thinking, especially if you have something to share. Share it. No longer do you want to be silent. No longer do you want to be muzzled, but you do want to share what you have to say in a very respectful way. Okay. Now, avoid these pitfalls to decision making. What are some things you need to absolutely avoid when you're trying to make a decision? And for some of you, you may know these. For some of you, you may not. But these are some things you need to avoid when you get ready to make a decision. The first one is false hope, right? Sometimes we just offer on false hope. We have these expectations. We put expectations on other people. Don't let false hope stand in the way of you making a decision. Waiting for a miracle. Faith without works is dead. Some of you waiting for something to fall off the sky. No, it's not going to happen. You got to stop waiting for a miracle. You got to make a decision. Following the money, meaning I've always done it this way. I've had this job, been on this job for whatever, many years, right? And it's like, no, it's time to do something different. Yeah, I know you might have invested in a course and you probably didn't even do everything the course told you to do in outline, right? But, I already took you something, so I don't need to take nothing else. But you ain't headed from that person, right? You may be a different person in a different space than you were before. And you don't need to say, oh, well, I've already invested so much in myself. There's never going to be a dollar amount. There's never going to be enough time. There's going to be enough energy of you investing in you. I've heard my Next Level Speakers coach say this before. Shout out to Jeremy and all of the Next Level Speaker Academy brothers and sisters. He said, you invest in yourself by getting the knowledge and information you want. You can turn around and go and invest in other things that you like, meaning whether there is missions, there are, people, certain situations that you want to invest in. And then what happens is people start to you invest in yourself by getting the information. You go out and teach it. People turn around and invest in you to get what you know. And then you're able to go out and give to other people from your overflow. You're able to give to other people through the missions and giving and whatever you want. So it's an investment wheel that keeps going. You pay to get information invested into you. You turn around and learn it and teach it to other people. People invest into you. And then you take those same investments, or some of them, whether you're using them for growing your wealth or to give back and to plant seeds. That's how you can do those things. It's an investment wheel that keeps coming. So following the money, just because I've already done it this way, or this is this job, I'm going to stay here because I know this is guaranteed. Make a decision. Guys, if I was to look at the money, if I was to look at my salary that I was making as a teacher and say, well, this looks a little better than trusting that my business is going to take off, I would have never made a decision to walk away. Don't just follow the money just because you've been doing it that way or just because it's good, right? That should be something that you can consider, but avoid following the money only for the sake of you just been doing it like that, because it can hinder you from making a decision to get to where you really want to be. Number 4, avoidance. Some people just kind of avoid real life situations altogether. They act like it's not there. They sleep They sleep so they don't have to make decisions. Some people sleep around so they don't have to, to cope with a decision. Some people just avoid it altogether, right? And then seeking for confirming information or validation. Some people don't make decisions because you're waiting for somebody else to confirm you. You're waiting for somebody else to say, oh yeah, I think that's a good idea. You're waiting for somebody else to say, oh yep, I think you should do that. No. That can be hindering you. Guys, if I was to have waited to start speaking and sharing and coming on live, you would have never saw me. If I was waiting for somebody to validate me, if I was waiting for somebody to put me in a position, if I was waiting for somebody to offer me something, I would have never been doing any of this, right? So you cannot be waiting for confirmation or validation, right? Your true validation comes from, did God tell me this? And then number 6, being overly confident. If you know he told you that, especially don't become prideful or puffed up. Or, oh yeah, I got it. Or, oh yeah, I know it. Nope, it leads to complacency and operating with blinders on. And we don't want to be blind to the call that God has called us to, right? And then 7, being too cautious. Some people are too careful. It's like, oh, I don't know, man. I really want to do it, but I don't. What is it going to cost you not to take action right now? When it comes down to the program I'm telling you about, or writing your book, or going to click and get some apparel, what is going to cost you right now to keep waiting? For some of you may say nothing. For some of you, it could be everything. For some of you may say nothing. For some of you, it could be everything. Why I say everything? Because for once you start to share your story, once you start to unpack those layers, there's going to be a level of freedom that comes over you. Generations can be changed because you decide to stop holding on secrets. You stop holding on to past things. You are not your mistakes. You are not what you did. Okay. And then the last one is 8. Well, 8, 9, 10. Pitfalls to avoid when making a decision. Passing decision making off to someone else. Don't ever try to push it off on somebody else. If you're a spouse, don't try to push a decision off on your husband or wife. If you have children, don't try to push it off on them. If you're children, don't try to push it off on your friends. If you adults, don't try to push it off on your leaders. Make a decision, because what happens is when we push it off on other people, then we try to make them responsible if it don't go well. Number 9, holding on to old ways and tradition. Well, this is how we always done it. Okay, just because it's how we always done it, don't mean that you should keep doing it that way, right? Some people don't want to make a decision because it's like, well, they always been doing it. We always been doing it like this. No, you can make a decision. You can go against the norm. What's already been there. Has what's already been there been working, or is it going to work for where we are right now? All right. Avoid these pitfalls. Avoid waiting too long. I talked about that earlier. Waiting too long. For some of you, what has it cost you the longer you waited? Have you missed out on a relationship? Have you missed out on a job? Have you missed out on an investment? Have you missed out on making money? What has waiting too long cost you? What has waiting too long cost you? So now I'm going to give you my top 3 ways. Top 3 ways you can make a great decision. First one. Well, I'll give you my top 4. It says top 3, my top 4. First one is, sometimes y'all sleep on things. Don't be hasty to make a decision. So many people make decisions out of emotions instead of really thinking it logically through. Sleep on things and don't be too hasty to make a decision. Don't be so impulsive. Again, people like the lifestyle they see of people, but they don't want a life that it takes to live it. And so while they're going out and making a decision, I want to do this, I want to go here. Like, is that a good decision? All decisions are not bad. All decisions are just not good for you. It's just not good for your situation at the time. It may just not be good for that timing, right? So sleep on things and don't be too quick to make a decision. When people try to pressure me and getting decisions, especially like with buying stuff, like, I don't know. Now, do prices go up? Because I'm telling you guys, after Monday, my prices for this program is definitely going to go up, right? But sometimes people will try to rush you into a decision because they want you to hurry up and get it, and you haven't counted the cost, you haven't gathered the data, you haven't analyzed, you haven't talked about it to anybody, you haven't ran it by God, you haven't ran it by your values. Guys, last year, I'm gonna use this example, and I'm gonna give you these last three, and I'm gonna go. I've been saying for a very long time, you know, my people were always asking my family, you don't want a new car? I do. I didn't want a car note, right? So I never got, so I have a 2006 Toyota Camry. Last year, July, a malfunction light came on and it stayed on. I got the it was a piece I had to get. I got that changed. It would go off. It would come back. And I was like, okay, you know, my car has at the time it had like 296,000 miles on it. I was like, well, I think I want another car. I kept telling me, I'm going to get me another car this year, which was what in 2020. I kept saying, I'm going to get me a new car. I knew I wanted a new car because I was ready to handle the financial responsibility that came with it. And I was ready to make a decision. So my decision was I want to buy me a BMW. So I started going to the BMW dealerships in DC and Maryland. I spoke to one guy. He was pretty nice. When I finally found the one that I wanted, I asked him, I sent him a message to see he would correspond with me through email to see if he could lower the price by about, I think it was like $5,000 or $6,000. I wanted him to lower it. Well, this was July, August. Never responded to me. And I kept checking back on their website. And by the end of the year, they had lowered the price about $10,000 less. I went to so many different dealerships where people were just, and I've only dealt with male salesmen here. Some of them wanted to rush you into a decision. One guy was like, you got to give me your social security number before you even go test drive a car at one Toyota dealership. No, you don't. Dude, I've been test driving. Tell me, yes, you do. Don't worry about it. One's like, come on, the Acura dealership. Come on, man, you can get this car right now. You can walk away with this car right now. No, right? Don't be forced to make a quick decision without analyzing everything. I knew how much I wanted to spend. Then I went to a BMW dealership in Gaithersburg, maybe. I think it was Gaithersburg. Oh, the older man that was gonna give me a test drive. So all the cars inside, so you have to go upstairs and bring them down. And I test drove one. I liked it. And I asked him if I could test drive. And he was like, no. He says, no, you can't. What you mean I can't? You have to decide which one you're going to get before I can go back and bring it down. No, I don't. I have the right to test drive cars. And then I wrote I won't say scathing, but I wrote a nice review of how he treated me that day. And so I ended up just going to CarMax. They had a new Toyota dealership one day. I just was like, man, I was over. So I stopped looking for a car. And then I just happened to go over there to the car dealership one day because, CarMax only deals with used cars. My very first car I bought on my own was a used Toyota Camry from CarMax. Girl, I think I was her first sale. But I knew I liked how CarMax did. There's no price hassle. Everything is on the outside of the car. The price is there. You don't got to worry about it. So there was two cars I was interested in. One was Avalon, another was a Toyota Camry. When the young man came out there, he told me, oh, well, this looks like it's on hold for somebody else. And I said, well, can you check this? Oh, looks like somebody's on hold for this. And I'm like, what the heck? And I read bad reviews about the Camry. That's why I was like, well, I don't think I want another one. But I like Toyota Camrys, right? Until I eventually upgrade to a luxury vehicle, right? I like Camrys, right? And so I was like, well, what about this car? I just wanted to test drive it, right? And he was like, he's like, oh yeah, this is available. So as he was backing it up and bringing it around, I was looking like, oh, I think I like the car maybe. And I test drove and I rolled down the street. I mean, I burned that street up. And I was like, Lord, what you think? And I had to make a decision. It was the smoothest transition I ever did. The price was there. This young man ain't try to do. It was smooth. And with CarMax, they have a partnership with the Maryland Department of Transportation or motor vehicles. And so I got my tags that same night. I never had to ride around with 30-day tags. I got my car that night. My bank had financed, so they had sent me a check. So I had a check. So it was like exchanging cash. I just dealt with my bank direct deposit because I made a decision and I knew what I wanted and I wasn't allowing people to force me into something. Now, what did me waiting so long, did it cost me something? What it cost me was a lot of time and energy because I got the car September 19th, 2020. It was a 2020 Toyota Camry. I bought it September 19th, 2020 From July to August, I spent a lot of time going to dealerships. I spent a lot of time looking around. I spent a lot of time online, right? Which I need to do my research, right? I spent a lot of time talking to the bank about, the interest rate. I spent a lot of time doing that. But at the end of the day, I made a decision and I stuck with it, and I don't regret it. I don't regret getting the car that I have because I actually like it. When I saw that the BMW that I really wanted had went down on another price later, it's like, well, obviously it wasn't the time for me to get it because I needed to have gotten a car long before November or December, right? So make a decision, but don't be impulsive. Do your research. Top 3, another tip for making a great decision: never regret a decision. You did what was right at the time now, so now focus on what's the right thing to do at this time. Some people get stuck in, I made a bad decision, or I shouldn't have did that, or I shouldn't have said that, or oh God, right? If you made the best decision at the time of what you thought based on the information that you had, now you cannot change it. But what you can do is focus on the decisions that you're going to make right now. Focus on the decisions that you got to make right now. And then once you have made your decision, you got to take the appropriate first steps. You got to put all the what ifs and the hesitation and the doubts aside and fully commit. I knew for 6 years, my first car, that Camry, has been paid off many years ago. But I knew I did not want a car note. I didn't want another financial responsibility at the time, right? So all that was going in my head. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, right? But when I got all that out the way, I was able to make that decision. I took the first step, which is to go to my bank and get finance, right? Go get the money from my bank, right? And then I'm fully committed into, okay, I know I have this amount of years on my car, but I'm gonna pay it off way sooner than that. I'm gonna have less interest rate, and I'm gonna pay less on the interest rate, and I'm gonna be good. Make a decision. Make a decision. I don't know what your decision is today, next week, or the years to come. Make good decisions, and these are some things that you can do. And so for those of you, again, who want to be a part of this 8-week mentorship masterclass mastermind, go ahead and sign up. Send me an email. I'll send you all the information. And the reason why I haven't posted, because some people, why don't you just post get a landing page or something? Nope, I didn't want to do that. I only wanted people who were actually interested in it, who didn't just want to go see what she had going on, but somebody who actually wanted to be a part of it. And so I've sent out to those you on my email list. Again, you can sign up for the text message services. I don't send out many messages there, but you can definitely get on the list. You can also sign up for emails. You can get the emails that I send out. But here's the number again, 202-410. Now I gotta wait till the other part come up because I don't know that number by heart. But you're gonna text the word overcome. Overcome to 202-410-4202. And so I know that this was beneficial. I know this was helpful for you today. So let me know how beneficial and how helpful this was for you. For those of you who want to be a part of the 8-week course, make sure that you send me a message today, because after Monday, it's truly going up. I'm not just saying that. I'm not putting pressure on you, because today is Thursday. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday to make a decision. For some of you, you've already seen it. You're just like, I want to, I should, but then you get hesitant, right? What is it going to cost you not to sign up? What is it going to cost you not to write your book? What is it going to cost you not to go live? What is it going to cost you not to tell your story? What is your cost is not to share your experience? What is it going to cost you not to share the information that you have? How much is it costing you, right? How much is it costing other people? Because you're sitting on, one of my coaches, Dr. Sherwood, says, you are sitting on what people are waiting on. And sometimes you need that push. Sometimes you need the environment. Sometimes you need that support and encouragement to even know that you got something worthwhile, that you're sitting on something that's going to be a blessing and a benefit to other people. And so don't forget, next week, next Thursday, the Heart of a Leader anthology is coming out. We're doing Amazon bestselling campaign ebook. We're looking forward to you actually purchasing the book. If you're looking for any of the Pretty Heal gear, Handsomely Whole gear, you'll go to my website and you will click on that to get all of the merchandise. And if you're looking for a speaker or someone who to share in your event a on-time word. If you're a principal or an administrator and you're watching this and you want to invite me in to do some social emotional learning with your students, to do some professional developments around trauma-informed education, social emotional learning when it comes to adults, helping build your morale, or the coach, and you're looking at your coach and helping build morale, reach out to me, seminary@seminarywalden.com. Those of you who know people who are decision makers. Sometimes people want to just talk your head off. They can't even make a decision. But hook me up with decision makers, a person that can say yes, okay? Hook me up with a person that can say yes. So I love you guys today. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm going to go back and read your comments and all your feedback because I know this is beneficial. I know it's going to be a blessing to you. So thank you guys. Have an amazing day.